I think we did get a lot of attention. I don't think that the focus was where it should have been, but um, the goal was accomplished, and that was to allow Windsor to enjoy the most important piece, and that was the semifinal championships, and done in a sense almost of peace. And the extra attention is always um, there, but our focus again was making sure that um, it was bias free for the most part. And so the incident, I'm sure, is what we're talking about. Um, you know, Morris is a good guy. I take nothing from it. And, I say this over and over. He's welcome to come in to the arena on Friday, as long as he comes in and he doesn't bring this heavy um, personal bias that he does and attacks on Windsor, the organization, the league, and myself. I think if you have access to um, these particular media sources, that you don't go out of your way to um, belittle Windsor, um, our team and organization, and that you be fair across the board. We accept that the media will say good and bad. We know that. But when you begin to do personal attacks, it becomes unfair to the organization, the league. And when there's things that were put out that were personal, it becomes unfair. And so this was a big night for Windsor, and we want to keep it that way. It was a very big night for us to uh, win a championship for the Western Conference, and we wanted to keep it about Windsor and not about personal attacks and about London. The league is nine teams deep, and I think when we report on what the league is doing, we have to be honest. Um, you can't be one-sided and think that London is the only team there. It's not, and they're not the greatest team. They are a good team and a respected good team, but so is Windsor. And the things that I do are always for my city, my team, and to push us to a higher place.
No, I'm not generally a sports reporter, but I would think that's the one part where you kind of get a little bit of leeway. You're allowed to cheer a little bit for your home team when you're a reporter.
I agree. I think you said it correctly. I think you said a little bit. And do cheer a little bit. I think we have some of the best reporters here. If you look at Bob Duff, exceptional. He's open and honest and fair. So I think we just have to make sure that, remember, the league is a brand new league. It's growing, and you can't be in a all-out war to attempt to belittle the commissioner, the league, the other ownership groups, and you have to be fair about it. And that's all we ask is we're not pushing here in Windsor. I'm not pushing here as a management group, and I think that you got to be fair to us, and that's all we ask for.
Is there another way it could have been handled, Dartis? I mean, could you have
Yeah,
called Morris or?
That's the sideline quarterback that I look back myself. I always say, there's always a better way, and I think the invitation to Morris to say, come on out. You know what? We respect that, but you got to respect us, and you got to be fair. And I think there's always probably a better way sometimes. If you look back at some of the details, which I won't get into them, notice was given, and that's the most important piece. And if you disregard notice and still come into it, then you ask for controversy. We don't ask for controversy. We don't pick fights. We go in the other arena. I shake more hands in their arena as I do here. And I think he's a good example. Whenever I see some of the reporters up top, I go right up deck, shake their hand, say hi, and keep going.
Mr. Willis, he's a columnist. He's been one for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Should he not be free to express his opinion, either pro or negative?
Well, you know what? I agree with you. Opinions are one thing, but personal attacks are another. And if you look back at a lot of the things that were done, and you have to do your own due diligence and research, you'll see that a lot of personal attacks happen. And so I agree with you. Freedom of the press is number one. Number two, But when you use it as a medium for personal attacks, I think that's when it goes outside of the freedom of opinion.